We have a triple header. The big one we're gonna get to towards the end of the show. But also the all games starting at 10 on NBA TV. The Indiana Fever taking on the Phoenix Mercury down in the desert. Then you have the Minnesota Lynx take on the Seattle Storm up in the Pacific Northwest of Seattle. Both games at 10. The Mercury games on NBA TV. The Star game is on CBS Sports Network. Cole, what you think about the other two games for tonight?
Uh,
Go ahead, Cole. Go ahead. Go.
okay. Well, I'll say this: the
You.
the Mercury needs to get out of their own head and out of their own way. Uh, and there's a team that's coming there that just has nothing but fight. I mean, that's just how they are. They fight, they scrap, they claw, and when you have teams that are like that, and you are down in the dumps, that's a long night. So I'm expecting another long night for the Mercury because the Fever is not going to be playing. Uh, Now we saw, the Lynx in the Storm. I think we saw these teams go early this week. They're hustling, they're battling, they're trying to find their way. They're trying to understand, like that both teams trying to understand their systems and grow. I think you're going to see another good game there. Uh, Hopefully the Storm can come back and learn from the lessons that they had with their previous game and walk out of Seattle, walk out of their home den with a W. Uh, but I'm looking forward to actually the Link Storm being the better game of the two, and the Mercury basically being like matadors and just getting trampled and rolled over by the Fever.
Hey, Dre, anything about the other two games that's tipping off tonight at 10 before? Because we're gonna save the big one for late in the show.
Well, I'm looking forward to Aaliyah against BG. I'm not. I'm not gonna lie to that. I'm very much looking forward to that. I think that what Aaliyah has done so far this season has been nothing but amazing. And I tried to warn people that felt, oh, maybe she should stay for her fifth year. Don't go to the WNBA yet. No, bullshit. Go now. Go now. Even your own coach, Dawn Staley, told you to go because I think she was I think she was a little hesitant on going because some of these kids they live the college life. They don't want to leave their friends. They want to keep enjoying themselves. But she made the right decision by leaving. She was WNBA ready, and then on top of that, you can see the difference in her game from WNBA to college. A lot of the stuff that she was trying to do in college, she couldn't do because they kept double teaming her. See, now she with the big girls now. So now she's able to excel in ways that we didn't really get to see as much in college. They need to just give her the Rookie of the Year award now. Stop bullshitting. Just give her the award now. Just put her name on it, and let's worry about all the other awards later on. But the Rookie of the Year right now is definitely Aaliyah Boston. Indiana is feisty, and Phoenix better wake up because this is not looking too good for them this season. To think that with a return of Brittany Griner, you still have the veteran leadership of Diana Taurasi. Nobody would expect for the Phoenix Mercury to be 2-10 because I know I didn't. Now, like I said earlier, did I think they was going to the finals? No. But if you was to ask me before the season started, yo, Dre, in 12 games, do you think Phoenix would be 2-10? I would have told you absolutely not. So the fact that I see it now, it sucks.
Hold on, we got some breaking news. Shout out to my man Dylan. He just put in the chat. Harden picking up option for a Sixer to explore trade. Knicks and Clippers emerge.
I was going to mention that too, but I'm like, fuck that. We talking about the women right now.
Well, that's interesting there. Thank you, Dylan, for that. That's an interesting one right there. All right. So we're gonna come back and preview the
This is
big
not the
game.
Rockets. I'm happy about.
Of course you are. Oh, trust me, I know you are. All right, we're gonna move on. Let's go ahead and let's go to tomorrow because we got a couple of games up on tomorrow. And tomorrow we have the Mystics and the Dream battling it out down in the ATL. That is 7:30 on Ion Television. And then 8 p.m. on Ion Television, you have the LA Spartan and Chicago Sky doing battle. Dre, you got Mystics and Dreams, Sparks and Sky Friday night.
Pull the schedule up.
So I'm having some difficulties how to put it up on my phone.
Oh, okay.
So
let me just pull it up on mine.
All right, there we go. We got it.
I think I'm glad that network has a doubleheader. I'll say that. I'm glad the network has a doubleheader. What I will say is this, though. I'm glad a lot of the games are being televised this year. I'm not even going to hold you. I'm very, very glad that the WNBA is televising more games, whether it's on Prime, whether it's on ESPN, whether it's on ABC. I wish it was more on ABC, but I'm just glad that a lot of the games are being televised this year. I mean, with a lot of the off-season stuff that happened, I think it was only right that these women get more games televised on TV because these women, I mean, I'm telling you, man, these women need the notoriety. They need their roses. They need their flowers. You understand what I'm saying? But to piggyback onto this, which game I'm looking forward to the most? I'm not gonna hold you. I'm gonna say the Sparks and Sky because I'm waiting to see if LA can get out of this funk and stop being inconsistent.
No surprises there. Cole, you got 2 games tomorrow night.
All right, so for both games, I'll start with the Mystics and the Dream. I want to continue to see the Mystics continue their continuity that they're growing to have. Uh, it's wonderful when you see a team gel with a player like Deladon and they say, okay, we got our horse. Now we can go places with her, and you're starting to see that coalesce with the Mystics. Uh, I think the Dream is still they're still trying to find themselves, and I think they will eventually. Will it be this year? I'm not so certain, but they're still trying to find themselves. So that's going to be a good game. But I'm loving what the Mystics are trying to do. Although I would not consider them like an Eastern Conference fave or definitely not a championship contender. But they're the next tier below, and that's a decent place to be because you might be an injury away from supplanting one of those two teams and being there. Now, for the Sparks and the Sky, Dre said it best. The Sparks just need to be more consistent than they've been, and if they could just be more consistent, I would like what I see. The Sky really doesn't really press me all that much, but they got a W against this team before, and not too long ago. I think they could probably if they play the way they do, clamp down on defense like they did against the Sparks league, and have that defense dictate the offense, and they might come up with another W against the Sparks. But to me, this is about the Sparks, and they are a better team than their record of 7-8 shows.
That's Friday night, ladies and gentlemen. Saturday, we got a big one Saturday. As you can see here, 3 p.m. ABC to begin the month of July. Kinetic Suns, Las Vegas Aces, round 3. This one in Vegas. They split in Connecticut. That's the Aces' only loss of the season right now. And then Saturday night you have the Lynx and the Murder getting down in the desert. So I'm just gonna let Cole, go ahead, because I know you're going to talk to me about the Suns and the Aces round 3.
Yeah, so I saw the links in the mirror. Just, sorry, the nap there.
No, don't do that. Don't do
No, no, no,
that.
no, no,
Don't
no,
do that.
no, no,
No.
no, no, no. Simply put, for real. The least
Come
give
on,
effort.
don't.
That is good. I'm happy about them. I'm just disappointed with the Mercury, and I just want them to show that they actually have something about them. Show me you got fight. Show me you got chutzpah. To me, when I can see on the boards that you give effort on the boards, that tells me a lot about everything else. I don't need to see shooting percentage. Just give me effort on the boards. Give me effort. Give me effort on the defensive end. If you don't have it with the shots, and you don't have it with the fundamentals on offense, show me you got it on defense. And if the Mercury could do that, they probably could turn this season around. Now, can he turn it around and actually make it playoffs? That would be a horse of a different color. But you got to show me that they're better than. You got to show me that you're better than 2-11. And as far as the Lynx is concerned, yeah, they show fight. They have potential, and they're growing in. Find a way to piece together some games and piece together efforts. They probably can be. They probably could be contenders at some point. Now with the Sun and Aces, yeah, I mean, they're almost evenly matched. I'd like the Aces a little better, especially in Las Vegas. But that's going to be a good game. It's probably going to be one of the best games of the year. The same could be said about what we're going to be talking about for tonight's game as well. To me, it depends on, and I always like to say the others. Which others are going to surround themselves with to on offense? To me, that's what matters. If you can help if the others can help the elite player, that's going to dictate and to go far as to who is going to take this game. Because when you can say, all right, the fundamentals are there, they can crash the boards, they can operate a half. They can operate a half court. They can break you down with they don't take possessions off on defense. When you can basically say it's relatively down to who is going to better support the elite player, especially in games like the Sun and Aces.
Dre, I'm gonna be honest. If I can sit here and say that they missed Jones against the Liberty,
I would hope.
they really gonna miss Jones Saturday.
I would hope that you be honest. Yeah, listen, you are absolutely right. They are going to have hell without Jones. And then on top of that, the last time these two played, Dewana Bonnet, I think, dropped 40 on them. So if you don't think that the Aces had this game marked on their calendar after that loss, mind you, that's the only team that gave them. That's the only team that gave them a loss. If you don't think after that game they went in that locker room and circled this game on their calendar, trust me, they're going to send a message to this Sun team. They're going to say, okay, y'all gave us our first loss, and now that we know that y'all wounded without Jones, okay, Bonnet and Thomas can't do it by themselves. Y'all going to need somebody else on this squad to help out. And I just think that the Aces are just too fully equipped. They're dangerous. I think they needed that loss because before the season started, you had a lot of people with the whole, can they turn the table? Can they go undefeated? They got that one loss out the way. Now let's see what happens with the rest of the season. That loss to them was the best thing that could happen because they had to get humbled a little bit, which they did. Now we're going to see what happens when they play them this weekend. It's going to be a dope one. It's going to be a goodie, a potential playoff matchup. I didn't say finals matchup, but potential playoff matchup.
It's going to be national televised too. You can't miss it.
Oh yeah, ABC. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
not
Everybody's on.
ESPN.
ABC Saturday afternoon.
ABC,
Mm-hmm.
not Prime Video, not Apple Music. ABC.
And I think the Leafs going to win in Phoenix because Phoenix is dealing with too much. They dealing with too much.
The Lynx is gonna win that.
They dealing with too much.
They should win that. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So that's Saturday. Sunday. 4 games on the docket. Beginning at 3 p.m. ESPN 3. That means if you have the ESPN out, you can watch this game. Down in the ATL, Dreams and Sparks get together. Also at 3 on ABC. Elena Deladine leading her Washington Mystics and Big D to take on Erika Gumawale and the Dallas Wings at 4 on ESPN 3. Chicago Sky and Indiana Fever get together down in Indiana. And then at 6 p.m., Stewie returns to Seattle as the Liberty and the Storm get together in the Pacific Northwest. Dre, you got 4 games on a good old Sunday.
Well, I work this weekend, so I don't have no games. But I'll say this: the game that I'm interested in, surprisingly so. You want me to say Liberty and Storm because Stewie's going back to Seattle, but that ain't the one that really catches my eye. The one that catches my eye is Mystics and Wings. That's the one that catches my eye.
That's the game on national television, of course.
That's the one that catches my eye. Very much so. I'm very much. I like both these. I like both these squads, and being that we talked about the Mystics earlier, I would be remiss if I didn't say get well soon to Shakira Austin.
Yeah.
That injury that hip injury that she took looked real bad. It looked real bad.
They got the best news. They got the best news out of that one because it's not season ending.
Yes, they did, because usually when you have a player getting carried off the court in the way that she did, it didn't look good. So to find out that she was only going to be out for a few weeks, yes, that's very, very, very great news for them. Very much great news for them. But that's the game that I'm eyeing. That's the game right there that I'm very much looking forward to. So hopefully this weekend that I work, hopefully they don't have me in an area where I can't have access to the TV. And, I'll be able to watch the game as I clean these rooms. So hopefully they have me somewhere where I can watch the game.
Cole? Full slate Sunday.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, to me, yeah. It looks like ABC got the right game to be played on Sunday to be focused on.
Sure did.
And for me, I love it when you have two teams that have for two different reasons having to do the same thing, which is this is a good litmus test for them. For the Wings. If they want to show that they can contend with the big dogs, I think the next level up is a team like the Mystics. Let's see if you can hang with this team, especially if they're coming to your house. Let's see if you can step up your game and back to DC with a W. For the Mystics, for them, they're gaining steam, they're gaining continuity, they're gaining momentum. Let's continue that momentum. You looking at this team that you're on the road playing, and you hope that they have that killer instinct of, okay, their record is worse than us. We're not going to act as though we can, with the ball rolled out to the court, and before the ball's tipped off, we win this game. But we believe we're better than this team. We got to show that we're better than this team. And I think this is a great test for both teams for that reason, because they have two different challenges, and the same thing has the result. Okay, can we actually take care of business? Well, we got to. And it definitely helps this game is on national TV too. Hands full with the fever, straight up. They have the hands full with the fever. When she gets back to Seattle, so I think Liberty's going to win, but that's not going to be an easy game for him, because I think the Storm is going to make it really tough for him.
They're going to make it tough because just it's going to be an emotional game for them.
Right. Yeah, they gonna make it tough for they gonna make it tough for Liberty. That's not a
Well, Lloyd ain't
that's not
gonna make it
a
easy
gimme.
for him.
That is not a gimme.
Lloyd not gonna make it easy for him. Let me say that too.
Yeah, that's not a gimme. Uh, and the Sparks, this is another test for them to understand that they just simply can't turn it on and off like a light switch. Uh, the Dream will not make it easy for them either, but they have to become more consistent. And if they can, uh, they should walk out this weekend with W's. And this should be the second of the two games they walk out with W's, even though they're both on the road. They have to take care of business,
All right.
they have to beat teams like the Dream to prove that they are not just a mediocre squad.
All right. Now, before the fellas, including myself, get into tonight's big matchup, I had to talk with the queen of who's making price herself because she's one of the main people, besides Dre, who consistently tries her best to cover the WNBA. So, my two fellas here, take about a 10-minute break, and I'm going ahead and play the clip from Megan Price getting ready to talk about tonight's game between the Las Vegas Aces and the New York Liberty.
Sal is here. The big game is coming. The two super teams are matching up in Vegas. But since I couldn't get her on the live show, I had to do it recording previously because I can't talk about the big game and not have the Queen of Hoops with me on this. So, Miss Megan Price, welcome back to Shooting Lights Out.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate you working with my schedule. I know I've been kind of busy lately.
But there's some couple of things I want the Queen of Hoops to talk about because she does dive into everything women's basketball.
Right.
So there's no other better person to talk about in certain articles that coming up. And we're gonna begin here with this article that came out on Tuesday. U.S. Bank WNBA Project Destiny announced second year of She's a Vested program. Talk to me about this.
I think that this is something that we have seen since Kathy Engelbert became the commissioner, which she's the first commissioner. Everybody else before that was the president of the WNBA. So this is the first time that anybody's ever had this term within the WNBA, and she's really business minded. We know that the WNBA has always been very active in social justice as well, but she has really kind of come in and brought some sponsorship and some major partnerships as well. Like they have a partnership with Google, they have a partnership with Amazon Prime, and this is just one of those other programs as well. So super excited about this.
What is this program about?
You know what? I actually haven't gotten into the details of this, but you know what? Like I said about Kathy, she's just somebody that really has gone out of her way, which I mean, it's her job, but she has definitely pushed forward how much the league is in people's their conversations, and she's just very business minded. And so this is something that definitely want to keep women and younger girls involved in pushing forward the game.
All right, I like the sound of that. I like the sound of that. And speaking of which, let's go down to the area that you know very well, which is Dallas, Texas, because
Right.
somebody from the Dallas squad, was named, or won, should I say, Care Community Assist of the Month award for May.
Right. Yeah, she's absolutely very active there in the Dallas community, and we love her there. Like she's a part of all the programs that we have there, and they have several outreach programs along with camps there that bring the young ladies into the Coliseum there, and they actually get to play with some of the ladies as well. But also, she's always given back and very very prevalent within the community. So no surprise here, to be honest.
So nice to be doing work in the community. And Soto
Right.
Sabala, she will be an all-star. I'm just going ahead and stay that out there because
Right. Yeah.
she's been balling this season.
She has. So this is her second time being an all-star as well, being voted an all-star. She had a little bit of a rough start coming into the W. She came from Oregon, and she just kind of had some health issues. She did play really well overseas. She is a Euro league champion as well. But she sustained some injuries over there before this season, so we're just really happy that she's been healthy. And on those days when Arike has kind of a rough shooting game, Satu's right there.
So Satu is doing her thing on and off the court. Congratulations on that award for the month of May. Now, I talked about this on the last episode, and I knew, and when I saw it, I thought about you first and foremost. We go from Dallas to Phoenix because the
Right.
big news of the week.
Okay, so I have been talking about this for since she got hired, to be perfectly honest. So a little background here. So the Phoenix Mercury parted ways with Sandy Brondello, which is y'all's coach now over there in the New York Liberty. She's a decorated coach, but it kind of looked like maybe she took over a champion team, and it kind of looked like she had peaked with Phoenix, and they just wanted to go part their ways and see what they could do. And of course, this is before BG was wrongfully detained overseas. So there was a lot of things that went into this season that contributed to the last season, that contributed to kind of the breakdown of this. But she didn't have a good relationship with Skylar Diggins Smith. The team was just almost volatile on the sidelines at times. And we know that they were going through a lot anyway, because yes, we know the league hurt for BG, but literally, like, these are her sisters. This is her team. This is her family. And they were really hurting that she wasn't there. And Vanessa was just not the right person to hold them together, unfortunately. They really wanted Teresa Weatherspoon, which she's an assistant for the Pelicans. And I think she just kind of wanted to further where she was at within that organization. And so she withdrew her name from the coaching carousel right there. And they had to pick up Nygaard like maybe 4 or 5 days before the draft, because they were looking at going in the draft without a head coach. So it felt like a rush hire, and she just kind of felt unprepared. For an analogy, I would say kind of the Steve Nash experiment over there with the Nets. He always seemed like a deer in headlights whenever the press was on him. And which, not to say that he hadn't been in the limelight. Obviously, he had been, but not when like everybody was blaming you. You're the coach. It's a different role, and he hadn't put in that work as an assistant to become a head coach. And I feel like it's real similar with Vanessa. So now we did play Phoenix last night. We ended up winning by 15, but I want to say like the first 3 quarters, it was really close. And there were times that the Mercury was ahead. And I was really happy with what I saw out of Coach Blue. Like, she was very active. It seemed like the players were very interactive with her as well and receptive to what she had to say. And whereas it seemed really tense when Vanessa was there. And, I wish her the best. But maybe Blue's the right person for the job. And if she's not the right person for the job, she's the right person to get you through this season. And, as we know, we're getting close to halfway through the season. So, you got to have somebody in place right now.
So you're talking about the Phoenix Mercury dealing with Brittany Griner being in imprisonment over in Russia for the first season of Vanessa Nygaard's Mercury, in this season, the second season, just not clicking at all.
No, it was rough. But I don't think it was just the 2-12 start for this season. It had a lot to do with last season too. And I don't think that Skylar was going to come back, period, as long as Vanessa was there.
So that's the big news of the week. Y'all heard me talk about it. You heard me talk about it Monday, but I just had to get the Queen of Who's opinion on this, because I knew she was not fascinated about this from the start of it. So there you go. But the main reason why she's here is because of this right here.
Right. Yes. Huge game. We're talking the 1 and the 3 seed versus each other. Are they going to be in Vegas? Is that right?
That game is in Vegas.
And so that's gonna play a huge factor. I've actually been in Vegas, gone to a couple of those games out there. Obviously, it was before CP3 got there, but their fans are dedicated. So it's one of those. It's like Seattle. Like, they can definitely be that 6th woman off the bench. The fans can, because they sell out games. I bet this game sells out. And this is what we expected going going into this season, we knew because it was just a crazy free agency. So we knew that this was going to be the battle right here. And I don't think anybody really kind of anticipated Connecticut coming in at number 2. But even with the bad injury that they sustained over the last week, I still expect
devastating.
Yeah, no, devastating for Brianna.
We're talking 16-10,
Right.
unaccounted for.
Right. Yeah, definitely. But I want to say, like, yeah, they're going to have to, where the other ladies are going to have to pick up is going to be on the boards because they have a scorer in Dejanay Carrington. But, back to this game over here, like, we expected this to be the 1 and the 2 seed. Well, they're the 1 and the 3 seed. And Liberty is tough. Like, Betnijah now she had her 3rd game in a row with 15-point-plus points. And she's very physical. And that's what New York kind of needs. Like, they need to be able to go into Vegas because Vegas is some bullies over there. Like, even if CP3 is having an off shooting night, she's going to put up 12 boards on you. Like, you're going to have to get in that lane and bully around with her on top of Asia. You're reigning MVP, you're reigning Defensive Player of the Year, and then you got Chelsea Gray, who's just diamond like crazy over there. Like, she's just absolutely showing out. And KP fills in when somebody's kind of having a short shooting night. Like, she's gonna pop up, and if like, we'll see her have games where she has like 10 to 12 points, but then like when it's needed, she'll go in and she'll get you 20 to 22 points. Like, if somebody's having an off shooting night, which happens every now and then, or you're going up against a tough team like this one. What I've kind of seen out of Jonquel this season, I think that she's going to have to get on the gas. Like, she's got to turn it to the next level. They don't have Han anymore. She went back overseas and she's playing over there. So, she's the big, and she's got to show out a little bit more. What we're seeing out of Stewie, she's the first woman to ever get to 4,000 points, the fastest in the history. So she's going to break. She already has, but she's going to continue to break tons of records over there at the New York Liberty. Sabrina had an awesome game. She had 32 points the other night. So, just they're really kind of gelling together the way we expected them to. It just took a little time.
Man. Y'all will hear me preview this game Thursday with my 2 buddies, Dray and Cole Johnson. But I had to get the Queen of Hoops here because this is the game everybody's been waiting on. So
definitely excited.
As you see it here, Thursday, June 29th, 10 p.m., Prime Video. You do not want to miss this. It's the Battle of the Super Teams, Part 1, down in Sin City, Las Vegas, Nevada. Queen of Hoops, thank you for this. And enjoy your week. I look forward to having you on some other time. Hopefully we can read.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was the Queen of Hoops, Megan Price, giving her thoughts before the big game tonight. And now that that time is here, let me bring the fellas back in. Dre. And we have one more person. Oh, I brought in another guest just for you. Ladies and gentlemen, the leader of Snowman Multimedia, the Snowman himself, Mr. Brian Snow.
Good evening, Playmaker. How goes it?
You know how it is. Welcome to the house of Shooting Lights Up, sir.
Appreciate it. Appreciate you having me. Appreciate the fellas here.
And all 3 gentlemen join me today because tonight is the big game. 10 p.m., Las Vegas, Nevada, Prime Video, New York Liberty, Las Vegas Aces, the 2 super teams to do battle as we get ready to preview this. As you can see here, as I work my way around, here's what the both teams have done in the last 10 games, gentlemen. You can see the numbers here. And this is just numbers that backs up the reason why most people feel like these are the 2 teams destined to meet in the WNBA Finals. To go even furthermore, here's where we stand overall with the 2 teams. Right now, the Liberty sitting in 2nd place after beating the Connecticut Sun early on Tuesday. 2nd in points per game, 1st in assists, and 5th in opponents per game. As the Aces, number 1 in points per game, 2nd in assists per game, and 2nd in opponents points per game. So, gentlemen, let's get to it. Let's begin here with Mr. Dray. Is our Liberty on the road against the Aces, sir?
You said our Liberty?
Our. I'm a Liberty fan.
No. You said our Liberty as if it's our, me and you. No. I'm Team Candace. I'm where she at. But it's gonna be a goodie though. It's gonna be a goodie. T.O. said get your popcorn ready, right? So this is gonna be one of those games. I mean, I wish that it wasn't on Prime Video. I wish it was on ESPN. I mean, it wasn't gonna be on ABC because it's a weekday, but I definitely could have settled for an ESPN game because this definitely is ESPN worthy. It's unfortunate that it's on Prime Video, but as the lady that was on with you just a few minutes ago stated, the commissioner being able to get all these sponsors and Amazon being one of them, it's a good look for them to be able on Amazon, be on Amazon Prime. But this is going to be a goodie. And I got to say, I'm a little offended with that little picture that you had, Darnell, because you had a big four for Vegas. You left one person out for New York.
Well,
Why
I
wasn't
couldn't find one, so I had to go with the one that I had originally.
Oh, yeah, you had to get the updated one, man. Courtney Vandersloot. She ain't no slouch.
Trust me, I was looking. I spent yesterday trying to find one. And it's like all the ones that I was seeing wasn't gonna work, so I had to keep the two that I originally used.
This is gonna be a goodie, and for all four of us, I'm quite sure. We hope it's not a dog walk. We hope it's not a blowout, which I don't think it will be. You know, I would definitely settle for a nail biter, just to give us something to look forward to come the end of December or October. But I really think this is going to be a slugfest. And I tell you what, this is one of those games that, okay, Candace only had 1 point the last game. You ain't going to be able to have 1 point this game. Oh, no, you're going to have to get about 10 plus this game, Candace.
All right. Let me get Snowman in here since he's newly joining us. Snowman, the big game tonight.
It is. Look at these two teams. You see two teams that are virtually the same. You already posted and talked about the rankings. Here is one factor where I think this game will be decided: turnovers. Because both of these teams love to get up and down the floor. Both of these teams love to get in transition. The turnovers are going to tell the story. Who's going to have the least amount of turnovers, and who's going to take advantage of the of transition? And counter Dre's point, do not, I repeat, Dre, do not be surprised if this is a 100-point game for both teams.
Wouldn't be surprised at all. Not at all.
All right. Cole Johnson. Yeah, Cole. Still muted.
Yeah, turnovers is a good barometer that was mentioned earlier. What I mentioned earlier between when we previewed the Aces and the Sun, which set of others is going toward the elite player and the high scorer. But no question, defense. What team comes prepared on the defensive end better? I won't be surprised for over 100 points. But which team is going to get those key stops in a game like this? In a game like this, possessions that you can take away from your opponent matter more than anything else. So if you ask me what is the most important aspect breaking this game down, which team is going to come to Las Vegas and play the better team defense all throughout all 4 quarters of this matchup, and that will be the determining factor to me who wins between the Liberty and the Aces.
Okay. Now, y'all heard from the fellas. We all knew because this whole thing started with Candace Parker going to the Aces.
Sure did.
And it was already like, let's go ahead and give them the championship again because this is just unfair.
Call her by her real name, CP3. That's her name. The real CP3.
Oh no, but say and not the point guard.
Nope. His name was taken many years ago by that young woman right there. She took that name in 2016 when she was in Los Angeles, when they both was in Los Angeles, and she did something he couldn't do, and that was deliver a championship to LA. But that's neither here nor there.
Well, hey, he can't even deliver a championship, period. LA or not.
Anyway, this all started with Candace Parker going to the Aces. And if you're a WNBA fan, you were just like, is there any way, is there a reason to play the season anyway? Because now you're just talking about a team that just added Candace Parker. And before you knew it, Cole Jones gets traded to New York out of nowhere. All of a sudden, you have an MVP in New York. And then Breanna Stewart follows suit along with Breanna Stewart. Now all eyes became on the WNBA because now you have two super teams here. Now, Dray brings up Candace Parker. You can't score just 1 point in this game tonight.
Not this game. You got to send a message this game.
Yeah.
Any other team, that's acceptable.
I agree.
But
All
with this
points
team
matters.
in New York, we gonna need a. I'm not gonna say we're gonna need a old Candace performance, but we definitely gonna need more than a point.
Yeah.
You heard Snowman bring up turnover battle. Which team can handle the ball better? You heard Cole Johnson say defense. Which team can make the key defensive stops with the game on the line? For the Aces, I'm going to make it plain and simple. Continue to be in who you are. You have a starting five, and it don't matter. One night, it can be Aja Wilson along with Jackie Young. The next night, it can be Kelsey Plum going ham. Another night, you might get the old Candace Parker type of game. It just doesn't matter. And by the way, Becky Hammond still haven't touched her bench like that yet. Because he's got some players on the bench too.
Whoo, yes, she does.
So you didn't even see the full dangerousness of the Las Vegas Aces yet. So continue to do what you do. You at home, you got the home court advantage, you got the crowd behind you. You are the reigning defending champs, and you the best team in the WNBA. Record shows it, and people who have eyes can see it. For the New York Liberty, you took down one tower in the Connecticut Suns twice. Once at home and one on the road. Now you're dealing with the tower of all towers. You're the number one team in sharing the basketball. You want to beat the Aces? Make them defend the entire length of the courts. Get some back doors. Find some open shooters. We have seen games when 4 starters score in double figures. As Megan Price said, Elijah Laney has done 3 straight games of scoring 15-plus points.
She brought
one more tonight.
That lady brought up a beautiful point when she said that.
So Denaja, we're gonna need to make this 4 straight. Cole Jones, you're coming off your second double-double in the Liberty uniform. You're gonna have to bring the MVP, Cole Jones, tonight. Because you're dealing with Candace Parker, CP3, and Aja Wilson, the reigning league MVP. Breanna Stewart, be you. We know what you bring. We know what you bring to the table. We don't have to worry about you. Because you already showed it. When you played against the Mystics Sunday and you were struggling, know what you did, and Cole was gonna like this. My shots ain't dropping. I'm gonna get to the free throw line.
Hello.
Oh,
She got to the free throw line. Most of her points came to the free throw line, while the rest of the team picked her up
now she
to
on her way
get that
home.
W.
They delivered it, but she's on her way home now.
Okay, so they picked her up to help get that comeback victory over the Washington Mystics at home. Sabrina,
Remember, she get off the
you know the
side.
Washington game. You dropped 31
Ah.
points against the Washington Mystics. You hit 7 threes. You got Courtney Vandersloot. Courtney can be the point guard in tonight's game. You gonna have to be the scorer in tonight's game. You gonna have to make either Jackie Young or Kelsey Plum work on the defensive end. To let it be known, y'all might be the deepest team. Y'all might have all the star power, but we ain't backing down either. It's gonna take a team effort to take down Vegas. It took a 40 piece from Bonner in Connecticut to knock them off. She had to drop 40. New York, you don't need nobody dropping 40 because you have the pieces. You have the pieces around to be balanced scoring and be the number 1 assist team in the WNBA that you are. But if you don't share the ball and if you turn it over, you're going to get ran out of Las Vegas. Because one thing about Las Vegas, they are good at turning you over and getting quick buckets. And that's what I got. Anything else further before we sign off?
If you don't have Prime Video, you better get it now. And then you can deactivate it. But for this game, please be tuned in because this is the preview for the WNBA Finals at the end of September going into October. You definitely don't want to miss this. This is going to be one of those ones. This is what we've been waiting for all season. Once both teams made their moves in the offseason, it's been a full-blown conclusion that this is the WNBA Finals. I believe this is the first of 3 matchups. I think the other 2 is going to be in Barclays. I know for sure I'm going to be at one of them. I don't know which one, but one of them I will be in attendance for. But it's going to be one of those ones, and I hope a lot of people tune in for this game. I really do.
All right. Anything you want to say about the rest of this game, Cole, before we sign off?
Well, the only thing I have to say about it is, before this season, actually before the Final Four happened for the women's, I said that I really believe that the women's game needs to have a resurgence and a renaissance because they play a more fundamental brand of basketball than men do. And I have been surprised since the first weekend in April because the ladies have come to play not just in the college level, but the pros. And tonight is the biggest sign of the women showing that they can hang, and not just hang, they actually can do it. They can actually do the darn thing even better than the guys can.
Ooh.